Hello, my loves. How you, Julie's? Just caught me eating a bit of a butty. I was a bit late, so excuse me. Because I hate it when people eat on, when they're doing lives. It's like, ew, don't do that. No chucking crisps in the mouth and all this. Not a nice thing. I don't think Jason's here. Julie's. I've got a clue they're not here. Because it's past their beddy time. It is a bit late, but I thought I'd put it on for 8 o'clock. I haven't. Had I? Oh, Jason, you're there. So, are you, Jockney? Just let a few people join. Are you, Kelsey, sweetheart? Where's Cindy? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where's Cindy? Are you, J9? Come on, Julie's. Where's Cindy? It didn't say 9:30. It said 9:30 is the one tomorrow. Now, Julie's, stop covering for her. Stop making an excuse and covering for her. She definitely said the one tomorrow, the premiere of I Am Snow Queen, is 9:30. So she's using this as an excuse, isn't it? She's been naughty. She's been naughty, hasn't she? She's been putting her own channel before mine, and that's wrong. That's so inconsiderate of her to put her channel before mine. I'll tell you now, I had reams, lines of people, hundreds of them begging me to make them moderators, begging me to wear, please, can we have the honour of being able to tell everyone that we're a moderator on your channel? Didn't you, Kelsey? Kelsey, haven't you had newspapers? You've had CNN, BBC, loose women on you wanting to interview you about what it's like to be a moderator on my channel, haven't you, Kelsey? Just waiting for Kelsey to reply. That's it, paparazzi. Don't leave her alone. Don't leave her alone. That's what happens, you see. That's what happens when I choose you to be the moderator. Anyway, as you can see, I'm being Queen Elizabeth I today. Good Bess, Queen Bess. And I'll be asking a couple of questions in the quiz about the most famous, well, I'd say actually she was the most famous sovereign ever. I mean, she was famous than her father, Henry VIII. She's more famous than him. She was the queen that reigned over the Golden Age when England really went into the stratosphere. So are you, Lucius? Anyway, let's start as I used to with a bit of drama. Of course, the main drama is, which I did a video about, and I'm getting mixed things on it. Are you, Big Billy? Is Danny Christie having a relapse, and some people, only a couple, are saying, kicking him when he's down. I'm not kicking him. It's a reality check. I said months ago, and you can see the videos. And I said this to him when I was talking to him, when I was interviewing him he came on the live. I think it was, who was it with? Can't remember who was on there with us, but we were doing this live. Oh, Cookie. It was Cookie, yeah. And I was talking to him, and I said, you want to be careful, because I'm not saying he's a bad man. He's not a bad man. I've had things to say about Paul Venice, and I'm not saying he's a bad man, but they have certain faults that they best address if they want to be these inspiration to people. And I said at the time to Danny, I said, look, I said, you're coming on too full on. He was talking like a guru, preaching to people. But it's to me, when you heard him, it wasn't that he was doing this to help people. He was coming across as doing this to boast about how wonderful he is. Look, to be like me, I do this, you should do this, you should do that. And I said, do that when you've been clean for about 10 or 20 years. Then do that. Then go and do it. And then fine, great, because you're in a position where you can speak from experience. Because the chances are someone will take a relapse. Relapse is normal. It will be, I don't know. I don't know of any drug user that's gone into a rehab or gone on the 12-step program that hasn't relapsed. There mustn't have been much for drug addict if that they never relapse. It's normal. It's part of the journey that they go through. So that's what I was saying. But what I was trying to say in the video today is just it has to get on a handle on the ego, because he is extremely egotistical. It's super ego. I use the term ego, but essentially the ego is a good thing. It's the super ego that's the bad, can be negative. And what it is, you have your id and you have your super ego. Well, you need the ego in the middle to balance the two out. So actually the ego itself is good because it gets an equilibrium. It holds back the super ego and it stops the id being too much of a demanding child. I want. So it holds them both in balance. So the ego, but people say ego, so we use the word ego, but it should be super ego actually that you say, because that's the one that does the damage when someone thinks that they're absolutely fantastic. So it's not kicking them when it's down. It's a reality check saying, look, you've got to address this issue and not go preaching to people until you're in that position that you can. I mean, look at Paul Venice. Paul Venice is in the same situation. He wants to inspire people. But Paul Venice doesn't do it in this preachy manner. Paul Venice is always talking about his personal journey. And it's personal to him. If anyone gets anything from that, fine. But he doesn't go, well, if you do it, I do this and I do that, and you can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. Never say to someone, if I can do it, you can do it. Never. Or never say to someone, I find this easy. It's easy. You should find it easy. Because immediately what you're saying then is that they're a failure or that they're stupid or they can't. That's what the message you're giving. You don't give when you're inspiring someone a negative message like, if I can do this, you can. Because if they can't do it, they'll feel a total bleeding failure. And they'll think, oh, I can't do that, so I'm a failure. Or I find this easy. That's another one people say. Oh, I find this easy. Why don't you? It's easy, try it. Go on, it's easy trying. The person doesn't find it easy. They feel a failure. So you have to be careful how you actually do. Where Paul Venice is more, if Danny showed more humility and just spoke about his journey instead of trying to tell people how they should be wonderful like him, it would come off much, much better, because he is a nice fella. I've spoken to Danny. He can be a bit of a bitch when he feels you're needling him. He can. He said things to me in the past which were very insulting, or I took as a great insult. But in himself, he's a decent fella. He's not a nasty fella. So I'm not kicking at him. I'm just saying, I'm just, pointing out, hopefully, if he wants to listen to me, he'll listen to it. See, I'm an old sort. I've experienced life. I know what people can be like. So, just be interesting. Sorry about that. I'm drinking a cup of coffee. Oh yeah, it will be a combination of things. I think also he was yelling at the people that were bringing them down and getting at him. But again, Nat, if you have to be really long in the tooth. And this is what I do. That's why people say no blocking. Anyone starts going going into the realm of hate speech with me, I just block them. Then guess what? I don't have to be upset by them. I was getting absolutely hell in the what you call it, shadow boxes chat. And all that it did was the couple of people that were doing it, I blocked them from me seeing them. I'm not a moderator, so I can't block them on his channel, but I blocked them from me seeing them. I never see them. It's same with Willow. What's her name? Weeping Willow. I never see Weeping Willow when she's in any chat around there because I don't want to see what the bitch is saying. And that's what you do. That's what he's got to do. If you don't see it, you're merrily going around saying what you want to say, and no matter what they say, you can't see it. So it works great. Absolutely works great. That's the way I advise them to do it. Just block them from doing it. Oh, Guinness. Do you know what? Unless it's the proper Guinness, I think those no bottles of Guinness are horrible that you get here. They're bitter, aren't they? Whereas, you know, the bitter in Ireland, the Guinness in Ireland is completely different. Oh, it's like malt. When I remember years ago drinking it there, you have to leave it. You can't drink it straight away. You have to leave it until the head settles. And it's like a malty flavour. And I remember, oh, good God, they had a drink there. I don't know what this. I think they still do. Fürstenberg, which is a German lager. And when you're drinking it, it tastes like water. It's got no strength to it. I remember people saying, be careful. Be careful. They said it's pretty powerful stuff. And I said, oh, it tastes like water, this. Good God, the minute I walked out the door and the air hit me, I was legless. God knows where I was getting up to. I know I was nearly arrested in Bray, because we ended up in Bray, and I was nearly arrested. I can remember that, but my mate that I was with knew the police officer and stopped him arresting me. So I can't remember what I was getting up to, but it must have been doing something that was, outrageous. I've never had Nigerian Guinness. Fish guts. Ooh. I'm just reading something there. Psychoanalysis is shamanism for the civilized. Yeah, you've got a point there. And it's always an opinion, isn't it? It's always an opinion. I say I do like Danny Chris. This way, people that have said, they're wrong. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to kick them when he's down. I'd love nothing more than to talk to Danny face to face and talk him about this, because I can see it come. Look, if I'm wrong, how can you see the videos where I'm predicting this is going to happen? I've never been a drug user myself, but I know I've smoked, which in my mind is still a drug, tobacco. But I've seen enough of it. I worked in the probation service before I joined the police with drug users on treatment and testing orders, and I used to say, I've never met someone on the 12-step program or in rehab that hasn't relapsed. You have to build yourself up for that. But he went right into the stratosphere and thought he'd made it. Dangerous thing to do, because you're going to come crashing right back down again. And it's normal. That's what he's got into his head. And this is what drug users have to get that out in rehab, but on the 12-step program. Don't kick yourself when you relapse, because it's normal. It would actually be strange if you didn't. As I said before, it would mean that you weren't much of a bleeding. It's like when people say, I found it easy to give up smoking. I did it like that. Didn't bother me. I don't know. I found it a hell of a task to give up smoking tobacco. But when people do that, I turn around and say, well, either you weren't inhaling or there's three options. We're inhaling, either you're bleeding line through your teeth, but when they'd go on, they'd say, they'd turn around and say, yeah, I found it easy and all this. I'd say, well, good on you. But someone who doesn't find it easy that gives up, I said, they're the true strong person. You're not. And you'd see the face dropping because she said that they weren't a strong person. Oh, what do you mean I'm not strong? I said, well, you didn't need, that was it. They used to say willpower. You'll hear this. Any smokers or ex-smokers will know what I'm talking about here. Oh, you just need willpower. You're weak. I have strong willpower. I gave up like that and it didn't bother me. If anyone says that to you when you're trying to give up smoking, right, just turn around to them and say, well, actually, my willpower is much stronger than yours if I give up, because you didn't need willpower if it was so easy. It was so easy that you gave up like that. You didn't need any willpower. You suddenly see the story changing. Oh, I'm not saying it wasn't hard. I mean, it was difficult. Like, see the crap they come out with. It's easy to make people slip up. It stands to reason, does it? If someone finds it easy, they didn't have to use any bleeding willpower. Where the ones that don't find it easy and do give up, they're the ones that have strong willpower. Hey, well, should we get? Yeah, nicotine's terrible. God, I say, it took me a long time. It took me about 5 times before I gave up. I'd give up, then go back. Right, and it's true what they say, just one will make you go back on. Right, shall we do the quiz? Quiz quitting is easy. I've done it 1,000 times. That's 100 times. That's true. That's true. Yeah, you've got a point there. That is loads are going to hit hard. He's got to work out what kicked her off. Was it people insulting him, or was it something else? I don't drink. I haven't drank for many decades now. So I gave up. Just let me put the lights on. I gave up years ago because the payback was always too great for me. I take after me papa. My papa could only drink a very little amount, or he used to suffer terrible. I'd hangover from hell I used to get, and that was from drinking absolutely nothing, practically nothing. So you have to, yeah, I gave up 5 times. The 5th time I was successful, but I tell you how I did it, and everyone has their own way. How I did it, I went on, the tabs, the nicotine tabs, nicotine replacement tabs. I had them, and I got myself hooked onto them. Now I thought, right, oh, well, it would be easy to give the tabs up. Jesus, Holy Mother of God. It was as bad giving them up as it was giving up the tobacco. But the good thing is, I know if I ever start craving for them, it won't be tobacco, it will be the nicotine tabs that start craving. And that's the better option to crave for them. But it was literally, I got hooked on them. And I thought, oh, this be easy to give up these now. My Chicago was bleeding awful. Anyway, let's get on to the quiz. Right, first one, in honour of our gracious Queen, Queen Elizabeth I. Who was Queen Elizabeth I's famous mother? Who was her mother? I'll say something about vapes later on, narrative, if I remember. Who was Queen Elizabeth I. That's it, Anne Boleyn, who had her head lobbed off. That was her mama. Which other queen did Queen Elizabeth have executed? Which other queen? Mary was her sister, Johnny. Mary was a half sister. So, which queen did she have executed? That's it. Mary Queen of Scots. Now, you should have got that, Johnny. Mary Queen of Scots. Now, this is a question. Did her and Mary Queen of Scots ever meet? Did they ever meet each other in person? Nope, William, this is amazing. They never actually met in person. Mary Queen of Scots fled to England, and of course, she was always a threat. So she was put in the Tower for years. And then Elizabeth signed a death for her to be beheaded, which is quite a sight because they didn't take her head off in one go. And that's why you'll hear those who know about traditional look, good luck and all this. It's very unlucky to get married in red. Very unlucky. And that goes back to Mary Queen of Scots, because she was married in red. And when she was executed, she revealed a red dress. They took like a cloak gown of her, and she had a bright red dress so it wouldn't show the blood when her head was cut off. And so brides should never, ever, ever get married in red. Never. Very unlucky. Now, let's see. Which singer announced his last performance, or supposedly his last performance, at Glastonbury? Which singer has announced his last performance at Glastonbury, I should say. Oh, was she in Farnaga? Oh, I got that wrong. Sorry, Attila. Wasn't she in the Tower for a short while, though? She was there for a while, wasn't she? But she was put under house arrest, was she? Yeah, you're right. Maybe she was moved somewhere, wasn't she? It must have been when she initially got here, she was put in the Tower, then they moved her. Elton John, there we go. Elton John. Oh, yeah, Cat Stevens is there, isn't he? My neighbour was saying the other day, no, not Butters fella. I said, hey, Butters fella, what's his name? Cat Stevens said, so don't call him a Butters, for God's sake. Muslim, isn't he? Let's see. Right. Back to Elton John. He formerly sang Don't Go Breaking My Heart with Kiki Dee. Who did he sing it with a second time? So Kiki Dee it was, first of all. Who did he sing it with the second time round when he sang it, recorded it? I'm sure she was in the Tower of Attila. I'm sure she was when she first landed. She would have been. There's no way they would have just sent her to a bleeding castle. So you are talking through your backside now. You would have had to hold her there to decide what was going to happen. No, not Lulu. Not Nina Cherry. Tell you it was. You'll get a shock. RuPaul. Now, Joe, I only block people when they come out with hate speech. And I get people, you blocked me, I didn't say it. You did. You did. And don't go ask me to unblock you because I can't be bothered looking for you. So yeah, RuPaul was who we sang it with the second time now. I wrote Shakespeare one. Shakespeare one. In Romeo and Juliet, who is represented as the king of the cats or referred to? Why is that represented? I don't know. In Romeo and Juliet, who is called the king of the cats? Are you John Little? Who is called the king of the cats? Not Mercutio. Think of the other side. Who's the hell's Molly? You just made that up. Here we are. Tybalt, king of the cats. Was it king or prince? It was one or the other, wasn't it? And why was he called prince or king? I'm sure it wasn't he king of the cats. I thought it was king of the cats. It was prince. Why was he referred to as prince of the cats or king of the cats? I'm sure it was king of the cats. I might be wrong though. Let's see. Tybalt, king of the cats. Get the good king of cats. I was right. Good king of cats. Yeah, so he was the king of cats. So, yeah, why was he referred to as being a cat, the king of the cats? What it was, I'll tell you. What it was, the insignia for the Capulets. He was a Capulet, in other words, he was part of Juliet's family. They were represented on the shield with a cat, where the Montagues, Romeo's family, were represented by a bird. So birds and cats. What do birds and cats do? Right, here we go. Well, we're off Shakespeare now, I think. Well, Bible ones for those that are into their Bible. How long was Jesus on the cross? So when Jesus was crucified, how long was he on there? Oh, don't worry, John. I'll have some more ones. Not 3 days now. Nowhere near that. He could have been. Here we are. Joe, you're close to it. Have to go lower though. It wasn't days. Joe's more close to it with 12 hours. He wasn't up there all that long. It could have been 3 days if he'd died the normal way. They could be hanging there for, as you say, 3 days normally. Here we are. I think he got it. I think he got a Selkie seal. Yeah, 6 hours. He was on the cross for 6 hours before he died. Now, this is an interesting one. Oh, this is an interesting one that not many people know. Even people who profess to be Christians don't seem to know the answer to this. What did the crown of thorns represent? It was by no mistake. Joe Lindsay, shut up. Shut up. Or you will be blocked from here as well. Right. What did the crown of thorns represent? Yeah, it would be allegedly. No one knows whether how long he really hung up there, did he? No, knocking the Jews. Here we are, Silky Seals. Got it. Got it. This is what people don't realize. It sounds very sinister when you look into it, because we heard about the Lamb of God, don't we? The sacrificial lamb. That's what the church puts forward of this cute, cuddly idea of what Jesus was representing. But the crown of thorns wasn't an accident. God meant that to happen. And what it was, the crown of thorns referred back to Adam and Eve when God, get this, and this is the words the Bible used, cursed humanity. Cursed. So Adam and Eve were cursed, and I wrote down the thing here because I can never remember off the top of my head. Here we are. Cursed is the ground because of you. In pain you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth. See the thing, thorns. Jesus was actually the care. When the crown of thorns was put on his head, he was turned into the curse of God on humanity. So it sounds different from the sacrificial lamb. It sounds much, much darker, doesn't it? So that when he was crucified, that meant the curse was lifted. And mankind, anyone before Jesus, the sins were more or less, you could say the sins were forgiven and all this. It's us that have to worry. Apparently, if that's true, it's us that have to worry, because when you're born in the knowledge that Jesus exists and all that, you can't say, oh, I didn't know. But if you believe the book of Revelation, you've got 1,000 years to prove yourself after the judgment day. Or the end of days, I should say. Now, so that's, I found the Bible fascinating, absolutely fascinating. But here we go. That's another one. Oh, it's a pity that Cindy isn't here. She'd like this one. Cindy would love this one. Absolutely love it. So, pity she's not here. Just wait a minute, second. Right. Now, narrative. This is where you made a mistake. Tell you something interesting. This is another thing that people don't realize. Adam and Eve didn't notice they were naked until Satan. That was the source of shame. Nowhere does it say it was Satan, Lucifer. And this is the amazing thing. Nowhere in the Bible can you find a sentence that links Lucifer to Satan. It's just presumed. If you look at the Torah, which is the Jewish, it was the Jewish religion, the Old Testament, a Satan, and I say a Satan because there were more than one, there were many Satans, was just an angel that used to stand in your way to see how you'd react. In other words, it was sent to test you. So they get, and it means something like, I think it means, in the original language, it means something like to see, it's deceiver or something like that. They get in your way to test you to see if you'll sin or not, if you'll do the right thing or the wrong thing. But at no point, and that's why people always question, were they the same entity, Lucifer and Satan? And you've done it again. Sorry, it wasn't the snake. I said this I didn't have this as a question a while ago. Lucifer, through his voice, making Eve believe that it was the snake that was talking. But the snake was just a normal snake. It wasn't talking. He just threw his voice, so she thought it was the snake. So here we go. Yeah, opposer, that's it, isn't it? Devil is slanderer, isn't it? Devil is slanderer, Satan is opposer. Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah, the one that Cindy. I would have wished that Cindy was here that she could hear this. What is Barbie's full name? What is the doll Barbie's full name? So all you ladies out there that have your little Barbie dolls, you tell me now about what was her real name. Bet you didn't know, did you? What was Barbie's full name? Not Barbara Doll, no. No, Bob. Oh, Janice, you're cheating. You've Googled that, haven't you? Yes, you have. A woman with a voice like yours wouldn't be playing with Barbie dolls. I bet you were a tomboy when you were a little girl, weren't you? Barbara Millicent Roberts. Barbara Millicent Roberts. Now, did you have Barbies? Oh, you come across as someone that would have been a tomboy to me when you were a little girl. Right, here we go. Which doll is known as Barbie's cheapo cousin? Which doll is known as Barbie's cheapo cousin? That's it, Jason. Cindy. Oh, see that? That's Cindy. You need to see that. Do you remember the kick-off about the black Barbies? They were just the white Barbies dipped in black plastic. Here we are. Here's one that I know you'll all get. It's a grammar one. What do you call a question mark which is immediately followed by an exclamation mark? What do you call a question mark that's immediately followed by an exclamation mark? Oh, action mark. Do you remember, Jock? I remember someone saying once said, no, when they call them action figures because they're for boys. The dolls, aren't they? Remember someone saying that? They're just dolls, but they called them action figures so the boys wouldn't feel like they were playing with girly things. She's cheating, isn't she? Isn't Julie's cheating? Even I didn't know that one. She's cheating, isn't she? She's cheating. Isn't she, Kelsey? Attila, isn't Julie's cheating? Who the hell knew that? I didn't even know that. Kelsey's cheating as well. Cheat. You're even spelling it right. Cheat. The two of you cheats. Who the hell would know that? Oh, God. Right, let's see. Oh, this is a good one. What is Scooby-Doo's full name? Oh, the Eagle Eyes one. Yeah, they were great, weren't they? What was Scooby-Doo's full name? Yeah, that's right. Oh. No, Scrappy was his cousin, wasn't it? Nephew, sorry. It wasn't Scrappy his nephew. No, it's apparently Scooby-Doo. And I mean, Scoobert is one name. I'll type it in here so you can see. What's his name? Scooby-Doo. Bit rubbish, that, isn't it? Here we are. Here's another interesting one. Where were fortune cookies invented? Where were fortune cookies invented? Yeah, I knew everyone would say that. You're right. Now, sure, it's in the USA. Do you know which city? It was the USA. It wasn't in China. Yeah, well, I'll give it because it's a bit of you got close enough. San Francisco. San Francisco. So, true or false? You can sneeze in your sleep. You can sneeze in your sleep. Is that true or false? Apparently, it's false. You can't sneeze in your sleep, but I've never woken myself up to see if I have sneezed or not. So, yeah, apparently you can't sneeze and sleep. I know it's impossible not to close your eyes, isn't it? And never try, if you don't close your eyes, if you try to keep your eyes open when you sneeze, your eyes pop out. They do. They'll pop out and hit the wall opposite you. And never tell lies to your grandparents, or you get hairy eyeballs. If you tell lies to your grandparents, you get hairy eyeballs. Everyone knows that. And my once told, God, that's just reminds me, years ago, one of my cousins, she came out with the most bizarre thing when we were kids, and it's never left me because it was so bizarre. I thought, how did she come up with that? If you eat a crust of bread the wrong way round, you'll turn into a donkey and stick to the ceiling. Honest to God, if you eat a crust of bread the wrong way round, you'll turn into a donkey and stick to the ceiling. And I didn't even think of asking her, what is the wrong way round to eat a crust of bread? We should ask her that. What is the wrong way round to eat a crust of bread? Which the one about sneezing, you can't sneeze in your sleep apparently. Or you talk about the sneeze, or you talk about me, what my cousin said. Or about the eyes. Oh, yeah, the eyes is true. Yeah, you'll get hairy eyeballs. Yeah. Yeah, she was. Still to this day, we're only little, very small kids when she said it, and it always stuck in my mind. So, what as I got older, how the hell? Even at the time, though, that's some imagination that for her to come up with that. It's funny it was. But let's see. Done the quiz. So I was going to talk about someone mentioned something to me. I'll go back, and they said, "Oh, I'll mention that." Let's go back. You have a ghost play music, Julies. Let's see. Someone. Oh, how many times have I read the Bible? I've studied the Torah and the New Testament, the Old Testament, and the history of how they both evolved, because I find it absolutely fascinating how it all evolved. Because you get the idea, it just appeared, it didn't. It evolved over a long time. No, someone asked something before, said something, and I was going to discuss it. I can't find it now. But someone asked, oh, I thought I'll have to talk about that. Never mind. Oh, do you know what? There used to be someone on YouTube, and they'd always start the video asking Alexa to say the time and date, and it would kick off your Alexa. No good idea. Don't do that, people. Ask Alexa to confirm the date and time because it kicks off anyone's Alexa that's saying, got it. Why are you not to talk to Narrative? At one point, I did talk to Narrative. I had snubbed them. What's that? I've had it because I don't know. I've never heard that before. Who? I will have a look at it. See what it says. Craig who, Julie? Which Craig? Oh, I don't know. Sorry. As you can tell, I'm a little bit tired. I'm a little bit tired. I have today. I'll have to do it open live next time, but do it 8 o'clock. But tomorrow, don't forget, people, I'm doing the Snow Queen, which is a premiere of the documentary that was done about her, and you'll find that fascinating. Just a warning, it starts off strange. This is the first time this person that filmed this had done a documentary. It starts off very strange, not even in English for the first couple of minutes, which is off-putting. And you'd never really find out what the beginning actually is supposed to represent. But it's a good insight. Good insight. Oh no, yeah, just realised, Julie's, as I was saying. As I said. Just looking, anyone got any questions? Or any statements or any latest goss that they want to talk about to get us up to an hour? Because Roping the Lines now, it's going to go on for over an hour, and I'm absolutely tired. But next time we will do it. Next one to do, I'll make sure I open it for people to talk to me. I don't know, Pete. The Danny Christie video, I don't know. I think what it was, it's just, it sounds like to me that someone was threatening his family. That's what it sounds like, because he was going on, wasn't he, talking about my family and all that. In other words, he's reading the bleeding comments, isn't he? Which he's best not doing. Oh, Koshka, Kelsey. Yeah, he's all right. He's downstairs asleep at the moment. He loves his door, but I've got rid of his cat box. Before I got the cat flap, I had a litter box here. And he's a clean cat. He goes outside, but he'd have to have me open the door so if he was in at night, if he didn't go out on his prowl at night, he had to have the cat litter because he couldn't get out. But he's got his cat flat now, which he loves. Oh God, he adores it. So he can come and go as he pleases. Anyway, saw him today using the cat litter tray, and I thought, oh no, 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 because he stinks. It absolutely stinks the house out when he uses it, even though it's got odor suppression and all that. So I thought you're just using that out of laziness because he knows he can get out now. He doesn't have any problems getting out, so I've got rid of the cat litter. So he doesn't start doing it there all the time. So he's downstairs having a kick, but he'll roll out at night. He'll go out all night. There's loads of cats around here. When you walk around at night, you just see these little things scurrying around. There's loads of them. John, Anne is always on the mark. On the mark. I mean, I don't like boasting about myself, but has anyone ever known me to be wrong about anything? Come on, darlings. Tell me if you're brave. Have I ever said anything that's been wrong? I'll thank you for the compliment, John. Oh, yeah, Danny Chris is doing a hell of a lot of good. This is just, come on, ask me a quiz question. This. Give us a quiz question. I'll have to try and invite someone on to do a quiz sometime. But I won't answer because, of course, I'll know all the answers. And I don't want to do that, so I won't answer. Because, of course, I will. You know, darlings, I'll know all the answers. Here we are. Joe Biden is the 46th president of the US. How many different people have held the office? Uh, 19, 10, 156. Oh, don't start that, gorillas. He wants to get away from all this. Oh, the one true God and all that. That's where he's gone wrong, right? Because when people start doing that, you know it's an ego trip because they're the one. I've always said this. You get a lot of extra users and a lot of people know we've had problems suddenly going on about the one true God, but you get a lot of people with inflated super egos doing it as well. And what it is because the ego, they think, oh, God's interested in me. And as I say, look, what about all the children that die? What about all the people with cancer? What about the people that are starving? What about the people in wars? Do you think God would be bothered with you when that's going on? That's what I say. They need to bring it down, but they go into this like stratosphere, and that's why they start slipping up. Because guess what? You can't be perfect and blessed all the time. And that's where I say, this is the worst thing about YouTube. It's not only the nastiness you get people who, this is where Paul Venice, I've always said Paul Venice does it, fishing for compliments. They get complimented. Oh, you're wonderful, you're fantastic, you're great, you're wonderful, you're brilliant. And that's what, I don't know why people have to do hero worship, as I call it. Hero worship. It's a, 45 days, and just to answer this question. 45. I suppose, why wouldn't it be 47? If it was 48, wouldn't it be 47? That's why I giggled. I thought, wouldn't it be 47? The obvious answer. Is there a little quirk in that two of them weren't called presidents? Or have I read it wrong? Yeah, here we go. Craig, sorry. Who directed The Shining? One of my favourite films. Oh, Stephen King wrote the book at the hotel, yeah. But he hated the film. He famously stormed out of the film and said they'd ruined it. Ruined his book. Yeah, it's a brilliant film. Oh, I get you. Yeah, there we go. So that explains the two non-consecutive terms. I get you now. Isn't it that the president's in where a prime minister here can be voted in 100 times? There's no limit. Isn't it in America that they can only be voted in, run for office twice, or run for the presidency? They can only run twice or 3 times. I think it's twice, isn't it? Then they can't go again, can they? Something like that. Where here you could, you could get absolutely loads, couldn't you? Yeah, 2 terms. I thought it was. Where here you can just go on. It's supposed to stop corruption, isn't it? I think in a way, don't know whether they should do the same here or not, because honest to God, when we replace prime minister, we get one crap one after another one. It doesn't make it any better, does it? But what I don't like, and I've never liked, is when they get rid of a prime minister here. They kick them out. We don't have a general election. The party chooses who they have next. And I think that's so unfair, because they say this is how to get around it. They say, well, you're not voting for the person, you're voting for the party. No, you're not. You're voting for the person. You're voting for the person. That's exactly what most people do. So anyway, what I'll do, got another couple of minutes left, so I'll just look. Yeah, Tim Curry. Did he say that piece? He didn't like gay people. I think what it is that there seems to be something in the it's like a huge campaigning going on, which there's someone with great power. There is someone or something with great power that is that was putting pressure on. I mean, yeah, we all want equality. We all want that. It's needed. It's definitely needed, equality. But there seems to be something really behind it all that's driving it all. And usually it's best just to let things happen. People will get on together and start respecting each other naturally, really, when the time's right. But when you try to force people together, you're always going to get trouble. You're late, PP. Fake PP, you're late. Joe, that's a good thing as well, Julie. No, I remember the time, even though it's fine now. I remember in the 80s, nobody said people of colour in this country, not America. Oh, you couldn't say that. Oh. And I remember when actually saying black was practically a dirty word. And that used to get me to think, I'd say, why is saying black a dirty word? It's terrible in the 80s. You couldn't, people think it's bad now. You couldn't say anything. And it was changing all the time. like that people of colour. You can say people of colour now. But if you said that back in the 80s, because it's like I was saying the other day, when people go on, no, bro, man, when white people do that. Oh, bro, man, and all this. Do that in the 80s, you would have been called racist, a white person doing it. You would have been seen as mocking or taking the piddle out of black people. So anyway, what I'm going to do, love, I'm going to wind up now. Thanks to Julie's and Cindy. No show, no shame, Cindy. Yes, no show, no shame, Cindy, who never even bothered turning up, right? Didn't even bother turning up. Suppose she's got better things to do. Anyway, so my darlings, until next time, and I will open this, and I'll open the if anyone wants to come on and do a quiz and on here, they want to do the questions, feel free. Give me a little rest now, just sit listening. But of course, I won't answer. Not because I don't know the answers. Of course, I'll know all the answers, and I don't want to spoil it for everyone. I was told about using the right term, but then a friend of mine said, "No, I like beans." Yeah, it's not wrong with saying black. And I said this years ago, Daisies, and I remember a young man who was black. He said, "I think that." He said, "Why is it that it's a bad word?" He said, "I think that as well," and it's true. You couldn't say it was all because this manhole, like the manhole covers and stuff like that. You couldn't say blackboard, couldn't say this, you couldn't say that, and used to be like, why is black suddenly becoming a word that you can't say? It was stupid. Then you use one term you could say, and then it got really confused in relation to gays. Right, if anyone called a gay person the Q word, you know what I'm talking about, they'd be hammered. But then suddenly gay people started using it. And it was like, that's being a bit confusing, isn't it? If you're going to say that's a bad insult, I think what it was, they were doing what black people do, with the N word, trying to own it again. But I remember getting told that that's considered old fashioned now. No one should be saying it. But yet, so it gets confused. Always changes. You're never sure. But in the 80s, it was terrible. I mean, you think it's bad now. At least the words more or less stay the same now. The accepted terminology. But back then, it was changing all the time. You'd get used to saying one term, then, oh, no, you can't say this. Let's talk about intersex, someone I know. Something I know. Intersex, right? In the past, you were called hermaphrodite. That's what you're called. Then hermaphrodite became wrong and it became intersex. Why did it become intersex? Because hermaphrodite wasn't an insult. So why change it to intersex? Apparently because hermaphrodite gave the image, apparently, of half male, half female, and there's no such thing as a human being which is quite right, who is exactly half male, half female. There's no such thing. One sex will dominate, even though you have physical characteristics of the opposite sex. One will dominate. Now, that changed in sex. Now, to me, it was the wrong move, and you'll actually hear this discussed in the Ice Queen documentary tomorrow. Now, intersex is such a, sorry for using this word, pissy word. No one knows what it means. Someone the other day, and this caused an argument, right, said that I was intersexual. No, I'm not intersexual. I'm intersex, two completely different things. Intersex is a physical thing. Intersexual is more sexuality, whatever gender you think you are and all that. But people do think that it means that. They don't know what intersex means, so why not just leave it as hermaphrodite, which people know? You'd say hermaphrodite, they know what you're talking about. Oh, you mean like a worm? Yeah, sort of like a worm. Then you'd be able to explain, but you'd say intersex, they'd think that you meant that you were bisexual or something. So, oh, not just Liverpool, John. Um, no Irish as well. Oh yeah. Back in the day in the 50s, you had signs saying no unemployed, no Irish, no blacks, no dogs. Get that? That was true. And I tend to think about what it was like before 1975. You talk about women haven't got equality now. Oh, go back to then, you'll know what inequality was. Um, Back then, right, a woman couldn't rent a flat. She could have refused a flat because she was a woman. She could be refused finance because she was a woman. You see this? This is what I'm saying. People forget what it was like. I mean, when I hear women now going on, oh, we don't have equality, it's like, oh, you don't know what it was like. You'd get two rates of pay as well. A woman would have a low rate of pay for exactly the same job a man was doing. And another one, get this, when you go to the canteen or you go to a restaurant or something for your food, right, they'd shout to the kitchen, a woman's portion. And you'd get a smaller portion for food for exactly the same price. A woman's portion. Go and ask your grandparents or your great-grandparents' people. Oh, there was inequality back then. Before 1975, it was horrific for women. Just had no rights. No rights. So anyway, darlings. Yeah, that's true. That's true, that. Anyway, I will leave it there, my lovelies. I'll be back, let's see, Friday it will be, won't it? And Friday I'll be back at 8 o'clock. And if someone wants to do, just in the comments when this is over, say, I'd like to do the quiz. And I'll let someone else do it if they want to. So anyway, thank you to my lovely moderators, Julie's, Kelsey, and Cindy, who came the last minute. Right, I'll expect your report first thing in the morning, 9 o'clock. Ask Julie's what a terrifying prospect it was when she didn't turn up. Yeah, you ask her the terror she was put through. Anyway, darlings, thank you, my lovelies. Bye-bye for now. Have sweet dreams, darlings.